You bring shame to the EU. Stop doing so many bad things and fix your corruption. Oh, they're yelling at both Hungary and Poland. UE rules stink of poop. Hungary fight for corruption. If not corruption, how is supposed to make extra euros? Yeah, I have to feed my family, adds Poland. Meanwhile, they're also in agreement with other things as well that the EU probably doesn't like very much. Also, frick sanctions. Russia's my friend. Oh, wait a minute, Hungary. Say again. Who is friend? No, nobody is. I think that didn't go exactly how Hungary planned it to go. These two places are in agreement about a lot of things, except that one. Hungary and Poland have actually been considered to have one of the greatest international friendships up until recently. There's just been so many memes about it over the course of the last several years. That is, up until recently when Russia invaded Ukraine, this was finally a giant divide between these two very long-time friends. I mean, overall, they're besties if they can just ignore the most recent development happening in the East here. The problem is, it's kind of hard to do that. I mean, everyone's kind of just focused on it right now. Probably one day they'll become close again. Of such beautiful day, Majesty, truly be of Hungary. Meanwhile, one of the flowers says, Gib. Huh? They look back. What is you supposed to be? Is me, Hungarian Roma. What? Roma, my culture is blooming. Oh. You Gib vote? Gib monies? Gib? 2 seconds later, of such beautiful day. This is pretty much how the Hungarian country ball handles that other country ball. They haven't really been big fans. Fortunately, this ball really hasn't been treated well by a lot of the neighboring countries as well. Oh, look, it's a little Vietnamese ball sleeping. Han, 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 someone says in the background. I'm pretty sure I know who that would be. The French out of nowhere screaming French noises. Hey, you hurt my annoying French friend. Now prepare to get some freedom. This is voluntary. Right, USA. And after that, Vietnam just goes back to sleeping. Wait, what is this? What now? Oh, that is a no-no Cambodian ball right next to Vietnam, I guess. Alright, they handle that pretty easily. Hey, I liked him, says China. Proceeds to do a beautiful backflip, and I think we all know what's coming here. Wow, now that's gruesome. Finally. We're homies now, says the USA. Don't frick up his nap. Yes, whatever you do, do not mess with Vietnam. Pretty much a lot of the 20th century was about many countries learning that. It was a harder lesson to learn for some than others. Now, a very important thing to touch upon was their origin story during WW2. Japan occupied Vietnam there for a couple years. They kind of accidentally awoken the sleeping giant. Then France returned to this region, got it all back, but Vietnam was not going to like that. They had already been occupied before this by France since the 1800s. They decided to beat up the French in the 1950s. The USA came over and tried to help finish the fight. Obviously, that did not go very well for the South, and the North won. The Americans left. Chaos erupts in Cambodia. They gotta go clean that up. You can tell Vietnam's just been through a lot. Meanwhile, now we're cool again. I don't know how that happened, but, you know, 60 years later, it's all water under the bridge. I guess if you can't beat them, join them. I think we all know now it's best to just let them nap, probably. Bibbidi boobidi, I cooked a spaghetti with the olive oil. Oh man, I was really hoping that was gonna rhyme. Anyways, the USA's got an idea. 100% authentic Italian olive oil infused coffee. And so begins the birth of Starbucks. Now, Sweden, looking at this stand, gives them an idea. 100% authentic Swedish rotten fish infused coffee. How delicious. Sweden, Norway just says with disappointment. Well, I don't know. Are they that disappointed? Maybe they'd be willing to try it. Maybe one of those Nordic countries are willing to try it. Iceland apparently loves eating rotten shark flesh, so that's not too far off. Also, apparently coffee infused with olive oil is a thing. I don't really think I want to try that, to be honest. And maybe I'm right for thinking that, I guess, according to this. I mean, if that's become a thing, I guess anything's possible. If you want to try it, Sweden, go for it. But I'm a little bit worried. Maybe we shouldn't give them this idea. There's already countless examples of strange coffees around the world, like espresso and tonic, mushroom coffee, even butter coffee. I wouldn't be surprised if the combinations just keep getting crazier and crazier. I give it 10 years before we see the rotten fish coffee in a Starbucks as well. Ooh, we have the Slavic language family. There's a cute little Czechia, a Poland, a big ol' Russia, a Ukrainia, and here's a family photo of the Germanic languages. There's Austrian and German and, well, these two. Oh, I like the little bow, USA. Meanwhile, cut to the Hungarians. Wait a second, they have an idea. It's Estonia, and it looks like there's love at first sight. Poland and Czechia looking on in amazement. How does that relationship work? As an American, this is definitely one that kind of makes my brain short circuit a little bit, but they are part of a language family that I don't often talk about. The Uralic languages contain, of course, Hungarian and Estonian, but also Finnish and some others in Russia and Nordic lands. The three most spoken of these languages happen to be, yes, Hungarian, Finnish, and Estonian. This actually makes a lot of sense looking back at my meme knowledge. Some of the most heavily memed languages are Hungarian and Finnish. These must be incredibly difficult to learn. There is technically a total of 38 languages, a part of this language family, or approximately 25 million people that speak within this category of language. And man, oh man, is this an interesting family tree. It's weird, I've never even seen a map like this before. Hello, we have new world discover and return with glorious Anna's fruit. Oh, is impressed. Spiky delicious. Wow, amaze. Also, it's going to be your new god now. All glory praise to mighty Ananas. Ululating sounds. I think that's how you say that. Oh, it's Portugal playing those drums. Hello, says the British. I would like to worship the pineapple as well. Apple of pine, who is that? Bryton is unbeliever. He's blasphemy. How dare? He is unclean. Unclean. Cut to 5 seconds later. Oh, I guess that's what happens to unclean balls. Burn a heretic to fire will cleanse sins, yes. Meanwhile, more frenzied ululating noises. Portugal back on their instrument. How or wailing?
Ululate.
Ululate. I was thinking of in Finding Nemo when they're like, oh yeah. That's exactly what I was thinking they were saying. I don't know why. So the English speaking world is actually one of the only languages in the world that says pineapples. They are called ananas in French, Russian, German, Latin, Polish, Romanian, Estonian. They have a language all the way from Malaya even agreeing it's somewhat close. So that's when you know you have a problem. I don't know how this even happened, which to the Malaysian point, maybe the Dutch helped them say it correctly because this was a British colony. You'd think the Malaysians would say pineapples too. I guess we got the word several centuries ago due to its resemblance to a pine cone from conifer trees. Imagine how much that would change the SpongeBob intro song if he didn't live in a pineapple under the sea, though. It's kind of crazy because, technically speaking, all of us English speakers could just decide, you know what, we're not going to call it pineapples anymore. We can all just wake up tomorrow and start calling it ananas and join the tribe if we wanted. I don't even know if I'm saying ananas right, to be quite honest. Ancient Greece vase, says Germany. Wow, responds Turkey. How cool and old. Wonder what they're going to do with it. I wonder what they were thinking about, asks Turkey. If only we knew. I have an epiphany. What is... I don't like Turk and frick Germany. What is a Turk and Germany? I not know. Wow. Must have been something super deep and important, says Germany. Yes, I'm totally sure of that now. Greece not really liking Germany or Turkey or the people from those lands. It's just one of those age-old traditions. Doesn't matter how far you go back in time, this is probably a theme you'll find here. To be honest, if they had to pick which one they despised more though, I think it would be easily Turkey. That is a rivalry that will definitely stand the test of time. Still to this day, it is stronger than ever sometimes. Oh no, my car sales are going down, says Japan. Meanwhile, Toyota sales continue to decrease. Watashi needs to drive up demands to boost sales somehow, but how? Not too long after, these two balls randomly getting into a fight. Hey, you know why another civil war is in Africa again? Have no idea, says Japan as they begin to sweat. This is the nation of Sudan, which is kind of dealing with a lot right now. And this is referencing how many conflicts, specifically in certain regions, tend to have a lot of Toyotas on hand. They use this for battle sometimes, so I can see what Japan was thinking here. I mean, there was literally a war in the 80s called the Toyota War. This was a conflict that took place along the Chad-Libyan border, and obviously it was famous for having a whole lot of these trucks a part of the battle, or the battles, I guess. And Sudan is really right next to those two places, so a little fishy. Hey, what's your name again? It's Deutschland. Okay, what is someone from your country called? Deutsch, I think is how you pronounce that. See, I told you, he's a Dutch guy from Dutchland. Oh, I'm sorry. I think, yeah, this is how the US made the mistake. Sounds pretty similar to me. Maybe this is why we ended up just calling the Netherlands Holland. It made things easier. Actually, I don't think that has anything to do with this. And Germany over here is just too busy working to correct any of these problems. Wait, so could this possibly mean that the Flying Dutchman is actually a German guy? He just had too much beer or something. Ooh, USA charging for cheese caves. Germany and Poland want to do that. Behold, this is my cheese cave. It's where I store all my cheese. Whoa, is so cheese. Much engineering. Watch out for the holes. Why are they storing Swiss cheese with holes? Why is you has so much cheese, America? Asks Germany. It all started during the Great Depression. I was very depressed. Also, my farmers started dumping milk because it was so cheap, selling it was no longer profitable. No, not the milk. This is sad. Oh. So I solved two issues with one action. I bought all the milk with 100% not commie subsidies and turned it all into cheese for easy storage. Makes sense to me. How many cheese was produced? Oh, I'm still buying cheese off my farmers. You won't run out of space? Yeah, I need to empty it once in a while. Empty? How? Oh, let's see the demonstration. Oh, no, me's Phil! Now I is fall into 2 to 3 week coma, but the cave is empty. We almost died, says Germany. Seems like you didn't read the fine print. I am not to blame for anything that happens. Like, I guess the fact that Poland has gone missing. Gentlemen, it seems like we have a missing persons case in our hand. Don't worry, I'll use the best of my deduction abilities to find Poland or at least bring the culprit to justice. Thank goodness Sherlock Holmes is here. I concur the case is bloody obvious. No, says Germany, it's not my fault this time. Historically speaking, yeah, I think I'd be the British here. Obviously, you gotta point fingers at the Germans. Cut to 2 to 3 weeks later. Oh, that's nice. Oh, why are we zooming in? Poland is not dead yet. I'm so disturbed. Meanwhile, Germany in jail. Germany, why are you in jail? They thought I oofed you. Oh, nice. You did do that many times. Not recently. That was America. It's not his fault. I'm sure he had his reasons. Go to the police and tell them you're alive and let me out. Some wait later. I was put in jail for stealing your car and being smelly. God dang it, Poland. This literally feels like it could be a cartoon or something, just the adventures of Germany and Poland getting into trouble with each other. I love how you could tell they were being smelly because they were being followed by flies right here. This really did play out like a cartoon to me though. And we got the classic fat America. It is also true the US government did amass more than 1 billion pounds of cheese. The cave happened to be in Kansas where it was formerly stored by the government. In 1981, Ronald Reagan had this problem where he had 560 million pounds of cheese. It literally sounds like a joke. They ended up just giving it away to welfare programs and schools. Here you go, have some cheese. It sounds like the entire world does this with different foods. The European Union has had a scandalous history of butter mountains, wine lakes, and milk lakes. Wait, this is claiming the government still has 1.4 billion pounds of cheese, and this one is stored under Missouri? And I thought the cheese cave thing was so ridiculous. I guess we are actually out here doing that. Who cares about raiding Area 51? I want to raid these cheese caves. It'd be way more productive. And big thanks to my patrons. Help, this is the real Drew. I was kidnapped and that's the imposter. Drew's Argentinian the slow, grandpa. Depressing Portugal Schengen,
Bryton Follow-Amateur
$20 is a lot.
JohnDenver,
Traven, KirinoIsBestGirl,
Phresh Animations,
TheGreatRalphy,
the Polish-Lithuanian
Commonwealth.
Commonwealth.
His ransom is 5
ZaneyBoi,
fish, and
why am I doing this?
308 Negro Arroyo Lane.